If you're watching this video, chances are you've heard the name Studio Trigger. Maybe you're familiar with their work, with any of those stylish, action-packed anime stretching back nearly a decade. Or maybe you're a fan of their older stuff at that other studio. Or maybe you're just a fan of this channel, and you're wondering where all the memes and overlong rants about furry anime are coming from.
No, shh. It's okay. I never say bad things about you online. Just go back to sleep. It's alright.
In any case, today we'll be discussing a Trigger show you likely haven't heard of, diving into its dramatic origins behind the scenes, and finally giving it the love it deserves. Join me as we uncover the secrets of Studio Trigger's hidden gem. Turning Girls is a comedy web series about four young women desperately clinging on to the twilight of their 20s, balancing passions with their day jobs, tripping into one embarrassing situation after another, defying the inevitable doom that is the Big 3-0. It's funny, it's cringy, and it's produced on what looks like a budget of prayers and pocket lint. But that's just part of the charm. Now, to be perfectly honest, I'm not trying to impress anyone with this PowerPoint-looking ass anime short from 2013. As much as I want you all to go and check it out for yourselves, might not be your thing. But it did make an impression on me. I really like that dry sense of humor, how it revolves around dysfunctional friendships between bizarre, selfish people, just like some of my other favorite comedies. And as time passes and I revisit this series, I gotta admit, it hits a bit harder in the middle of a quarter-life crisis. I actually turned a year older in the middle of writing this script, and Anyway, I'm definitely a fan. And if I make a few more Turning Girls fans with this video, that'd be pretty sweet. But for the rest of you, the story behind this show is something I think everyone can appreciate. 2013 was a busy year for Studio Trigger. The first Little Witch film was rushed out the door in March, and their first TV anime, Kill la Kill, was set to air that fall. This was a massive undertaking, the product of non-stop work since the studio's founding. And with all hands on deck, everyone busting their asses to get it all done, some cheeky production team called them up and was like, "Hey, you guys busy? You want to make a weekly web series for our YouTube channel?" And Trigger was like, "Yeah, why not?" And so they created the cult classic known as Inferno Cop, which if you don't know, looks a little like this. Which, depending on your tastes, amounts to either a glorified shitpost or the best thing to come out on Christmas Day in about 2,000 years. Despite these guys only allowing themselves 2 hours per week to make each episode, Inferno Cop was a rousing success, especially overseas. A new web series was requested almost immediately, and that was Turning Girls. This was a tall order. Kill la Kill's debut was getting closer, and it seemed like every creative mind in the studio was at its limit. This time, even 2 hours of bullshitting was out of the question. And yet, instead of turning down the offer, they decided to push ahead and conduct an experiment. As the story goes, they gathered all the female staff at Trigger, any normal staff from the janitorial girl on up, but not a single animator. Then they just made a simple pitch and told them to make an anime, just to see if they could. And these ladies delivered. They took care of the art, directing, storyboards, and wrote a script and characters that apparently reflected a lot of their own personalities. The end result exceeded expectations. There's something I find so charming about this. Like, imagine being the part-timer who empties trash bins at some tiny anime studio, and then you're called into a room with a bunch of other people who can't draw before, like, some asshole who helped make Neon Genesis Evangelion says, "Hey, we're running low on hands. Could y'all make an anime for us? Thanks, bye." I mean, it paid off. Turning Girls had a pretty great reception in Japan, and a sequel was in talks for some time. It's clearly an amateur work, but every bit of stilted dialogue, every janky transition just makes it more endearing. When Wakabayashi says the show is an accurate reflection of its staff, I believe him. It feels like a group of friends messing around, making fun of each other, playing exaggerated versions of themselves. The same girl who plays Chiwa, the hopeless Fujoshi drawing boys love manga, is actually the talented artist behind Turning Girls' awesome designs. And Kairun, one of the most annoying characters I'd ever admit to being best girl, is supposedly played by an actual idol wannabe in The Office. It just makes her self-deprecating humor that much more amazing. In the credits, all but one turning girl is hidden behind a pseudonym, making them Trigger's hidden figures, if you will. And I think that really freed them to show a new side of themselves. But for behind-the-scenes nerds, there are some familiar names in there, like a few male staff members who made some interesting voice cameos.
I mean, I was gonna ask about Turning Girls because you played the cold water,
Yeah.
僕を
the cup of cold water.
I think
in,
I played
Turning
several
Girls.
roles. I don't recall, but I was forced to.
まったくそんな悪い子にはパニッシュメントだな。
In many ways, Turning Girls fits right in with the rest of Trigger's repertoire. It's absurd, lighthearted, and a tiny bit raunchy. But most of all, I think it embodies the studio's mantra, the stated mission to create anime that's equally enjoyable for viewers and creators. It's pretty clear that Trigger's lead creators, those crazy guys from Gainax, are a tight-knit group who bounce off each other really well and love what they do. So it's really, really cool to see that kind of creative freedom extend to the whole studio and all of its hard workers. It's a great way of showing respect to the artists behind the art. In addition to, you know, paying them money! Anyway, I regret to inform you that as of a couple years ago, all the Turning Girls have moved on from the studio. A reunion is unlikely, and with their identities a secret, we'll never know if they ever accomplished their dreams. We'll never know how much homebrew hentai they sold, or if Kairun ever became the froggy idol streamer we loved so dearly. Despite all the magical memories the Turning Girls left behind, they're forever lost to us, with no way of knowing. Wait, what happens if I look up the title in Japanese? Oh, holy shit. So it turns out, Kairun started a career in voice acting shortly after her debut in Turning Girls.
I'm Kaede Yuasa. I'm a Japanese voice actor.
Starring in such roles as Xandrius in Kaiju Girls. This robot thing in this Ultraman show. And last but not least, Kanchal. Kanchal! You know, Kanchal, the halfling from Interspecies Reviewers? Well, I'll be damned. It looks like our journey has a happy ending after all. Kairun got her big break, and we get to hear one of Trigger's best girls act out hot wax play with a big titty moo cow succubus. And at the end of the day, well, that's really what this is all about, isn't it? Thank you all so much for joining me. Before you go, I want to point you to a little channel called Pause and Select. In early December, he'll be doing a charity live stream, looking at a whole bunch of AniTube videos like this one, where nerds talk about obscure stuff for minutes on end. So look out for that, and try to stop by, it's for a good cause. I'll try to update the description of this video when I know more. And in the meantime, like and subscribe, and if you want to waste your money instead of giving it to charity, I have a new Ko-fi page that you should check out the charity live stream. Promoting myself. Yeah, good on me. I love you all. Bye.